Thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network. Today, I've got a Bipod Shootout for you. I'll be evaluating the XLA bipod from Caldwell, the Harris 1A2, the Atlas BT10, and finally the Rugged Ridge Extreme Pod. Stick with me as we get into the details. All right, let's begin with the lowest price and move to the highest. The Caldwell will run you $30, has notched adjustable legs from 6 to 9 inches, has a Picatinny rail attachment with quick release lever. It's made out of aluminum and weighs 10.37 ounces. It's made in China through Battenfeld Technologies. Next up is the Harris. This guy will cost you $75 to $100 depending on the model you choose. It has the notched adjustable legs as well. They also extend from 6 to 9 inches. These have a sling swivel stud attachment and a knurled knob for tightening it on and off. This model weighs 11.25 ounces and is made in the USA from aluminum by Harris. Next up is the Atlas. The standard BT10 will cost right around $220 and on up to $300 depending on the model you want. It has notched adjustable legs that extend from 4.75 to 9 inches. These have a Picatinny rail mount and a quick detached throw lever. This model of the BT10 weighs 12.98 ounces and is made from aluminum here in the USA by B&T Industries. And finally, we have the Rugged Ridge Extreme Pod. This bad boy will cost you $330. The legs are adjustable from 7 to 10 inches via the locking collars. It's attached by Picatinny rail mount with this oversized throw lever. It's made of aluminum and carbon fiber and weighs 13.23 ounces. Rugged Ridge makes these here in the USA. Alright guys, now that the overview is complete, let's get into the details of each bipod and I'll give you some of my opinions and initial reactions on each model. Again, starting with the Caldwell here. A few of the negatives in my opinion. There's no cant adjustment. None whatsoever built into this. The ability to adjust for cant in long-range shooting is extremely important. It can't be overlooked. So based on that alone, I would not choose this bipod for anything long-range. With the way that it's made, kind of just feels cheap and chintzy to me, especially this throw lever. I'm betting you're going to have to replace this guy pretty quick. I'd give this one a definite thumbs down. All right, moving on to the Harris bipod. You know, the negatives with the Harris are mainly my opinion, but I don't like that in order to change the feet, I got to buy a Mod Pod adapter from Canfrawl Solutions for $30. In order to quickly adjust and lock out the cant on this guy, I've got to buy a $25 throw lever from KMW, and if I want quick release Picatinny mount, instead of the sling swivel stud, I got to buy a $66 part from American Defense. So, you know, I can get all the things that an Atlas comes standard with, but I'll have to pay extra for it. Also, the fact that the legs are either completely up or completely down all the time. There's no in between at all. You've got 90 degrees or you've got folded, and that's it. You know, you've got no other adjustments in the legs whatsoever. I'm trying not to pinch my fingers here. These are still bomb-proof, you know, battle-tested bipods. Nothing wrong with these necessarily other than there's better choices now. Definitely this over the Caldwell though, you know, I mean, nice rubber feet versus hard plastic on the Caldwell. It's a downside to me to have a sling swivel stud adapter for an attachment point. It's just not as fast to get it on or off, especially in a match. But, you know, as far as the good, solid, you know, good quality bipods go, Harris is going to be your least expensive option. All right, next up is the Atlas. You know, my negatives on the Atlas are pretty minimal. I just have a few. First is with the older and lower end models, the feet spin. These rotate, the legs and the feet all rotate. And you know, when you're set up on a hard surface and you're loading into your bipod, these things tend to kind of walk on you. So when you're loaded into them and you push forward, they tend to scoot because they rotate around. Whereas if they didn't rotate, they'd have less chance of that forward movement. So that's a big complaint for me. Now I know the newer models of the Atlases have fixed that problem. You could also just swap out these feet for some like Hawk Hill spiked feet and also take care of that issue, pretty quick. And then my other kind of downside negative, which is really, again, it's just opinion, is that when fine motor skill matters in a stressful and a situation where you're going to have to move quickly, I would like to have these push buttons be a little bit bigger in size. I've found myself in matches when I'm on the clock and I'm under pressure, fumbling around trying to push these things in and get my legs switched to where I want them. I'd like it if that button was a little oversized, but those are really my only negatives with the Atlas. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more money. Like I said earlier, right around $220 for kind of an entry-level model like this one. But you do get a lot of features packed into here. Obviously the legs, are quickly adjustable for length. Very nice and easy adjustments there. You've also got 5 different angles here on the legs. You've got 0 degrees either backwards or forwards. You've got 45 degrees backwards or forwards, and you've got 90 degrees straight down. So a lot of adjustment, and there's also built-in cant on the mount here. I'm not sure if I can get that guy to move right now, but I do have the Picatinny rail mounting solution, so by American Defense, which is really, really handy. Again, bomb-proof bipods, battle-tested. They're going to last you a lifetime. Kind of a buy once, cry once kind of a thing. This is absolutely the bipod that I would recommend. If you're wanting to get into the long-range shooting game. Finally, we come to the rugged ridge. The biggest negative with this bipod is the price. $330 for a bipod is a lot of money. Now, I understand there are even higher priced options out there, but I, for one, will not be paying that. The feet are very slippery on hard surfaces as well. These were the slipperiest as a bunch. Like in a competition, if you're on a hard surface like cement or a car hood, plywood roof or something like that, these things are going to slide all over the place. And then we have the locking collars on the legs. If you're unlucky, you can actually pull them all the way out. What if this gets lost out in the field or in a match? And the only thing keeping it from coming out is this little collar on here that's like a piece of tape, basically, is all it is. The other thing is, you get them tightened on there, and I've got it pretty tight right now, and I can push on this thing and collapse it. That just screams of having problems. I don't want my bipod moving at all. Now, in its defense, this is made specifically for hunting. Hunting applications, you're going to be out in the field. You're not going to be moving around a whole lot like we are in our competition setting. It does have this oversized throw lever on the back for tightening and loosening. The same kind of locking throw lever that you can get as an aftermarket option on the Harris, but I like the fact that it's oversized. That's a real handy feature to me, and it is very positive locking. You can also flip this guy down and get vertical while you're behind the rifle. So you can shoot at downward angles, and you can actually rotate this guy around and get upward angles as well. Seems to be a good solid unit. I would not pick it for competition, simply because, like I said, I'm going to lose that leg. I know in a hurry when I'm trying to adjust that thing, it's going to fall out of there, and I'm going to be farting around with it on the clock, and I'm going to run out of time because the dumb leg, fell out or something like that. So a great choice if you're a long-range hunter. A lot of application there, and that's what it was made for. I would stay away from this guy in the competition game. Well, that's all she wrote for today, folks. Hopefully you found something in there that was useful to you, that you'll be able to make a better decision on buying or not buying certain bipods when it comes to precision long-range shooting or competition. If you haven't yet, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. As always, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network. Stay tuned next week for another great video.